Imagine waking up tomorrow and deciding that for the rest of your life, you will eat only one food, just one rice or steak or apples or potatoes. No variety, no cheat meals, no supplements. Just that single food every single day forever. At first it sounds simple, maybe even efficient. Fewer decisions, less cost. Total control. But your body is not a machine that runs on a single fuel source. It's more like an orchestra. And when one section goes silent, the entire performance begins to collapse. If you enjoy learning how your body-mind world really works, subscribe now because this channel breaks down complex things in simple ways. So what would actually happen if you only ate one type of food forever? Would you slowly weaken? Would you adapt? Or would your body find a way to survive? The answer is more complicated than you think. Let's start with the big picture. Your body needs 3 major macronutrients: carbohydrates, fats, and proteins. These provide energy and building material. But that's only the surface. Beneath that are micronutrients, vitamins, minerals, trace elements, tiny compounds that do not give you calories. But without them, your body literally cannot function. Most people think food is about calories. If you get enough energy, you're fine. That's the common belief, but calories are fuel. Nutrients are instructions. You can fill a car with fuel, but if you remove the engine oil, the coolant, or the transmission fluid, it will break down. Slowly at first, then suddenly food works the same way. Now here's where it gets interesting. The effects of eating only one food depend entirely on what that food is. Let's imagine you choose something extreme like only eating white rice. White rice is mostly carbohydrates. It gives you energy. You would not starve immediately. In fact, billions of people eat rice as a staple, but they don't eat only rice. If you ate only white rice at first, you might feel fine, full energized. But within weeks, subtle changes would begin. Fatigue, irritability, muscle weakness. Why? Because white rice lacks enough protein. It contains almost no fat, and it's missing critical vitamins like B12, vitamin C, and fat-soluble vitamins like A, D, E, and K. In the early 20th century, populations that relied heavily on polished white rice developed a disease called beriberi. It was caused by vitamin B1 deficiency. People experienced nerve damage, heart problems, and in severe cases, death. And that was with rice as a main food, not the only one. But maybe you're thinking, fine, I'll choose something more balanced, like eggs. Eggs contain protein fat. Some vitamins. Sounds better for a while. Yes, eggs are nutrient-dense. You might last longer without obvious symptoms. But eggs lack vitamin C. They are low in fiber. They don't provide enough certain minerals long-term. Without vitamin C, your body cannot maintain collagen properly. Your gums begin to bleed. Your wounds heal slowly. This condition has a name too: scurvy. It was common among sailors who spent months at sea without fresh produce. And this is where most people get it wrong. They assume deficiency happens quickly and dramatically. But the body is incredibly adaptive. It stores certain vitamins. It prioritizes critical functions. It rations resources. Deficiency is slow, quiet, creeping. You wouldn't collapse overnight. You would slowly deteriorate. But that's only half the story, because something else would begin to happen long before severe deficiency sets in. Your gut would change. Inside your digestive system live trillions of bacteria. This is your microbiome. These microbes help digest food, produce certain vitamins, regulate immunity, and even influence mood. They thrive on diversity. Different fibers feed different bacteria. Different nutrients support different microbial species. If you eat only one food, you feed only certain microbes. Others starve over time. Your gut ecosystem becomes less diverse. Less resilient research shows that lower gut diversity is linked to inflammation, obesity, autoimmune conditions, and even depression. So the consequences are not just nutritional, they are ecological. You would be collapsing an internal ecosystem. And here's the unexpected twist. The psychological impact might hit before the physical damage does. Humans are wired for sensory variety. Taste is not just pleasure, it's information. Sweet signals energy, salty signals electrolytes. Bitter can signal toxins, sour can indicate spoilage. When you eat the same thing every day, your brain begins to dull its response. This is called sensory-specific satiety. The more you consume one flavor, the less rewarding it becomes. Food would stop being satisfying. Imagine eating your favorite meal every day. For a week, maybe it's fine. After a month, it feels mechanical. After 6 months, it might feel unbearable. In extreme cases, people subjected to monotonous diets report loss of appetite even when calories are sufficient. The brain simply loses interest. And when eating becomes joyless, something deeper happens. Social experiences shrink. Cultural rituals fade. Meals are not just biological events. They are bonding rituals, celebrations, identity markers. You wouldn't just lose nutrients, you would lose variety in experience. But let's go deeper into the biology. Think of your body as a construction site that never closes. Cells are constantly being repaired. Hormones are constantly being synthesized. Enzymes are constantly being built. Proteins are made from amino acids. There are 9 essential amino acids your body cannot produce. If your single food lacks even one of them in sufficient amounts, protein synthesis becomes inefficient. It's like trying to build a house with thousands of bricks but missing nails. You can stack bricks, but you can't secure them. Over time, muscle mass decreases, immune cells weaken, hair thins, skin loses elasticity. Now think about fats. Certain fatty acids are essential omega-3 and omega-6. Fats regulate inflammation and brain function. If your chosen food lacks them, cell membranes become less functional. Inflammation can rise. Then there are minerals like iron, zinc, magnesium, iodine. Iodine alone controls thyroid hormones. Without it, metabolism slows, energy drops, cognitive function declines. Every nutrient is a lever. Remove enough levers, and the system cannot maintain balance. And this is where the real danger appears. Deficiencies rarely show up in isolation. They stack. Low iron causes fatigue. Fatigue reduces activity. Reduced activity weakens muscles and cardiovascular fitness. Weakened systems make you more vulnerable to illness. Illness increases nutrient demand. It becomes a downward spiral. In extreme cases, people on highly restrictive single-food diets develop anemia, weakened immunity, bone density loss, and hormonal imbalances. Children would be affected even more severely. Growth requires a massive supply of diverse nutrients. A single food diet during development could stunt height, impair brain growth, and cause irreversible damage. But there is one more layer: metabolic flexibility. Your body evolved to handle variety, feast and famine, plants and animals. Seasonal changes. This flexibility keeps your metabolic machinery adaptable. When you consume only one type of food, your metabolism becomes specialized. It gets very good at processing that one input, but it loses adaptability. If anything disrupts that supply, your system struggles. Evolution rewarded dietary diversity because diversity increases survival probability. Nature rarely supports only. So would you survive on one food forever? Technically, maybe for a while, depending on the food, if you chose something extremely nutrient-dense, like a carefully engineered meal replacement containing every essential nutrient, you could survive far longer. But that's not really one natural food. That's a designed solution mimicking diversity. The deeper truth is this: life is built on complexity. Your body is not powered by one molecule. It's sustained by thousands working together. Each bite of food is not just fuel, it's information, it's chemistry, it's communication. When you reduce your diet to a single food, you simplify your choices, but you destabilize your biology. And maybe that's the bigger lesson. We often search for extreme simplicity. One solution, one shortcut, one perfect answer. But living systems don't thrive on extremes. They thrive on balance, on variation, on interplay. So the real question isn't just what would happen if you only ate one type of food forever. It's why we're so drawn to the idea that something so complex could be sustained by something so simple. Your body is asking for diversity, not excess, not chaos. Just enough variety to keep the orchestra playing. Because the moment one section stops, the music doesn't end immediately, it just slowly fades.